Welcome back to Coin Discovery USA, the channel where we explore the hidden potential inside everyday pocket change and uncover the extraordinary stories behind coins most people overlook. And today we are diving into one of the most fascinating modern coin possibilities imaginable. The legend of a 1991 1-cent coin that has been valued at an astonishing $15 million because of rare mint errors, dramatic production mistakes, elite preservation, and intense collector demand that together transformed a simple Denver minted cent into a once-in-a-generation numismatic phenomenon. And while it may sound unbelievable that a coin struck for circulation could ever command such a staggering figure, seasoned collectors understand that value in the coin world is not determined by face denomination but by rarity, uniqueness, condition, documented authenticity, and the story behind the discovery, all of which can converge when something unusual happens during the highly technical minting process at the United States Mint, where billions of copper-plated zinc planchets are struck under tremendous pressure by precisely engraved dies. And even in such a controlled environment, small deviations can occur, and those deviations sometimes create coins that stand apart from the rest in ways that ignite excitement across the collecting community. Because a 1991 D Lincoln cent bearing the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln and the small d mint mark beneath the date can become far more than 1 cent when it carries authentic mint-made anomalies that are both visually dramatic and scientifically verifiable. And one of the most powerful factors that could elevate a 1991 D cent into the realm of multimillion-dollar valuation would be the presence of a bold doubled die created during the hubbing stage when the working die received multiple misaligned impressions, resulting in clear and rounded separation in the date, the word liberty, or the motto "I in God we trust," and unlike flat mechanical doubling, true hub doubling shows depth, thickness, and consistent secondary images that remain part of the die itself, making every coin struck from that die a genuine variety. And if such a double die were dramatic and easily visible without magnification, it would immediately capture collector attention, especially if only a handful of examples were confirmed and population reports indicated extreme scarcity in high mint state grades, and condition rarity plays a massive role in value because a coin preserved in flawless mint state red condition with booming luster, razor-sharp strike detail, and virtually no contact marks can be exponentially rarer than circulated examples, and when a single specimen stands alone at the very top of the grading scale with none finer certified, competitive registry collectors may engage in fierce bidding wars to secure the finest known piece, driving prices into extraordinary territory. But doubled dies are only one pathway to rarity, because other minting mistakes can further amplify uniqueness, such as off-center strikes that occur when the planchet fails to seat correctly within the collar before being struck, resulting in a partially missing design while still preserving a fully readable 1991 D date and mint mark. And collectors often prize off-center examples between 40 and 70% misalignment when the identifying features remain intact, as they combine dramatic visual appeal with attribution clarity. And broad strike errors can occur when the retaining collar fails to engage, allowing the metal to expand beyond its intended diameter and leaving flattened rims and stretched design elements. And a sharply detailed broad-struck 1991 D cent with brilliant original red surfaces would already be highly collectible, but if paired with additional anomalies its desirability would multiply. And clipped planchet errors formed during the blanking process can create smooth, crescent-shaped missing sections along the rim, often accompanied by the Blakesley effect opposite the clip. And while single clips are collectible, multiple clips on a single coin create exceptional scarcity and visual intrigue, especially when the strike remains strong and the surfaces are minimally marked, and wrong planchet strikes represent another extraordinary scenario. Because if a 1991 D Lincoln cent design were accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination, or even a foreign coin, the resulting piece would display incorrect weight, unusual coloration, and partial design transfer. And when metallurgical analysis confirms authentic mint origin rather than post-mint alteration, collectors recognize the coin as a legitimate mint error of the highest order. And if such a piece were unique, or among only 1 or 2 known examples, its rarity alone could propel it into elite auction territory, particularly if preserved in pristine condition, and die cracks that progress into major retained Cuds offer another avenue of dramatic collectability, as progressive die failure can create raised metal areas connecting the rim to interior design elements, sometimes overtaking portions of Lincoln's portrait or the reverse memorial structure. And these sculptural-looking die breaks are highly sought after because they are unmistakable and impossible to replicate artificially without detection. And strike-through errors caused by grease, debris, or foreign material trapped between die and planchet during striking can result in missing letters, distorted details, or ghost-like impressions that add both mystery and uniqueness, especially when they affect focal points such as Lincoln's eye or the mint mark, and rotated die alignment errors, where the reverse orientation differs significantly from the obverse when flipped vertically, can add another layer of appeal when the rotation is substantial and confirmed as mint-made, and while each of these errors individually can command strong premiums, the scenario in which a single 1991 cent exhibits multiple independent mint anomalies, such as a dramatic double die combined with an off-center strike and a retained cud, all preserved in flawless mint state red condition and certified as the sole finest known example, would create the perfect convergence of rarity, eye appeal, and exclusivity. And when such a coin is authenticated by a major grading service, thoroughly documented, and introduced to the auction market with a compelling discovery story, perhaps found in an original sealed bank bag or uncovered during a widely publicized coin roll hunt, the narrative itself amplifies demand because collectors are often drawn to coins with memorable origins, and as competitive bidders seek prestige, registry dominance, and the satisfaction of owning a singular piece of minting history, the final realized price can climb to levels that astonish those outside the hobby. And in the theoretical case of a 1991 1 cent, valued at $15 million, it would represent not just metal and design but the culmination of uniqueness, elite preservation, documented authenticity, and intense market competition during a strong rare coin cycle, illustrating how even a modern circulation coin can transcend its humble beginnings when extraordinary circumstances align. And this is precisely why knowledgeable collectors carefully inspect every cent under magnification, study die markers and alignment, weigh suspicious pieces to detect wrong planchets, and compare details against known varieties, because hidden among ordinary change could be an undiscovered rarity waiting to be recognized. And while valuations at this level are extraordinarily rare and represent the outer boundary of possibility, they demonstrate the power of education and attention to detail within numismatics, reminding us that coins are not merely currency but historical artifacts shaped by mechanical processes that occasionally produce marvels of unintended artistry. And here at Coin Discovery USA, our mission is to inspire that curiosity, to encourage you to examine your pocket change with a more informed eye, to understand the minting process that can yield both perfection and imperfection, and to appreciate that sometimes the smallest denomination carries the largest surprise. Because the difference between 1 cent and a multimillion-dollar treasure can rest in a single overlooked detail, and the next remarkable 1991 penny could already exist quietly in a collection somewhere, waiting for the moment when knowledge and careful observation bring its extraordinary story to light.